This title may contain explicit content and listener discretion is advised.
The shop was quiet this early in the day, without the buzz of tattoo guns or the idle conversation of my coworkers. Too quiet. It left room for thoughts to bubble up. Thoughts like, would my utilities increase again this month? Why was the word Ohio now an insult? And would that mole on my thigh eventually turn into skin cancer and kill me? I plugged my phone into the sound system and put on my favorite playlist to drown out my inner monologue. Soft, eerie music floated from the overhead speakers. The notes were filled with longing, regret, and fading memories of happier times. One of the other artists I worked with, Elaine, said it sounded like the funeral dirge of a Victorian spinster. She looked confused when I'd thanked her. The song matched the shop's decor. Dark. Gothic. Framed antique ephemera hung on the walls. Vintage taxidermy rubbed elbows with reproduction Roman busts and leafy houseplants on bookshelves. In the common areas, thick rugs softened the cement floors, with cushy leather armchairs and sofas crowded atop them. It was maximalist. A feast for the eyes. New customers regularly told me they didn't know where to look first. Returning customers loved discovering new curiosities while they waited for their appointment. It had turned into a sort of game, with me switching out pieces to see who would be the first to notice a new addition. I carried my morning coffee and my tablet over to the seating area and curled up in my usual corner spot. Sometimes, I still couldn't believe this place was mine. That I'd created my dream tattoo parlor out of what had once been a lifeless concrete cube. It had taken a lot of hard work. Countless hours of planning and drafting and arguing with contractors when they tried to nickel and dime me. There were moments when I'd felt like it would never get done, that I would fail at this like I'd failed at everything else. Too flighty to stick it out, too weak to follow through. But somehow, I'd persevered through that hellish, stressful year, and the reward of sitting here, staring at what I'd accomplished, made it all worth it. I took a sip of coffee before setting it aside to pick up my tablet. The shop wouldn't open for several hours, and I usually spent this time creating. All my tattoos were hand-drawn and unique. I was a neo-traditionalist, melding vintage and modern styles. My specialty was pronounced line work and vibrant colors with a dash of whimsical illustration. Art Nouveau meets Studio Ghibli. The style wasn't for everyone, but those who loved it, loved it. I'd been working at my craft for years. I was good at what I did, and it showed in my busy schedule. Today, I had 3 tattoos and 2 consultations scheduled. And while that might not sound like a lot to a layperson, it was. One of the tattoos was small and wouldn't take much time, but the other 2 were much more complex. I was looking at 8 hours of tattooing, and I could already feel my back twinging with anticipatory stiffness. I'd need several painkillers and a heating pad tonight, but again, worth it. A rattle at the front door had me lifting my head. This part of the city was up and coming, meaning there were as many nice parts as there were bad ones, and the threat of break-ins was real. The curtains were shut, so I couldn't see who was out there, but I wasn't worried. Instead of glass, the windows were made of a clear, shatter-proof polycarbonate. Every inch of the shop, both inside and out, was covered with cameras, and I'd installed grade 1 commercial locks on all the doors. It was really hard to break in here. Trusting my security measures, I went back to drawing. The door